if human beings thrive and flourish, human beings around them thrive and flourish also, which means that when we bring thriving and flourishing to the heart of education, we create thriving and flourishing societies. In many cultures, and probably none more outspoken that I've been in, at least, than in the United States. In many cultures, we have a zero-sum game mindset, so that if I am successful, it takes something away from you. And if your kids are successful, it takes something away from my kids. But it's really the opposite, because we're a social species, and we're consistently influenced by the people around us. So when the people around us thrive and flourish, the greater the likelihood that we will thrive and flourish as well. And we can really create, a fabric of society that's cultivated in a very different way, that has to do with what it means to be a human being in a setting where thriving and flourishing is on the agenda, which it never was in education in the first place. And with regards to emotions, right now, in Denmark, for example, there is a conversation about kids are feeling too much, and all this kind of constantly feeling stuff, they just have to stop doing that and become more relational. And I understand that, because I can understand that there might be a frustration in seeing how sensitive so many children are, and that if we could just make that go away and they can orient themselves with regards to, the relational fields instead, then that would be easier. But I think people forget that all our capacities for being relational stems from how we are on the inside. So if we try to repress what's going on the inside by not feeling our emotions, then that'll leak out into our relational fields as well, and they'll be very dysregulated. The only way we can create healthy social fields is through creating healthy relationships with ourselves, understanding our own emotionality. Emotions aren't the problem. It's that we don't have any emotional literacy. By and large, we've forgotten how important it is to learn how to do emotions. So emotions arise all the time. We can't make them go away. They're an evolutionary strategy that is incredibly successful. It's not going to go anywhere, but it's not the emotions that are the problem. It's our capacity to deal with emotions that can be very problematic. And if we're dysregulated, if we don't know what to do when we feel angry or we feel hurt or we feel, fearful or something, then many of the outcomes we're seeing in the world today are a consequence of that. A lack of emotional literacy, a lack of understanding. Oh, I can be angry and actually stay with my own anger, own my own emotionality, and have a kind of intention for how I want to express it, instead of just going over and whacking someone over the head. Imagine what it would look like in all the various places in the world that we're looking at today, with warfare and enormous polarization, if people had actually taken seriously that this is something we can work on, and we can have ways in which we show up differently because we understand and own our own kind of inner everything that's going on in the inner world of what it means to be a human. We can't take that out of the equation. And I understand that people can want that to happen, but it's not going to work anyway. So we might as well go the other route, which is from onset on, helping kids understand and regulate and feel their emotions and know what to do with them when they show up, and not try to shy away from, well, anger is not good and fear is not good, but joy, happiness is good, and I can be, excited, but I can't feel this emotion, and so on. That to me is it's a complete detour. What we really need to do is just get real about what's going on. It's an evolutionary strategy for being a social species. It helps us navigate complex surroundings to feel our emotions. The greater awareness we have of what it is and how they express themselves and what it feels like in us when a particular emotion kicks in, or when we have a multitude of various emotions going on at the same time, and being able to kind of navigate that, then we can make choices about how we want to be with it. And that's really the way forward.